So hello guys, and welcome back to the New Wave Invitationals week number 3, day number 2. Who'da thunk we get this far? But hey, it's been a wild ride so far, and it seems like we are gonna be able to solidify our base and get those teams going. But this time, gonna be a big one. I'm your host Dax. Joining me is Ma'am Mika herself. And who do we got for today, Mika?
Well, we have washed up homies versus Wamen Nagi. So it's looking like two things that people fight for in the grocery: soap versus ramen.
What aisle is does soap and ramen come together?
Oh well,
Where is the point? Where is the contact point?
well, and no, in my grocery they're at opposite ends, but they're
Uh-huh.
always out. That's why I never get any ramen.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. In times of ECQ, you gotta wash yourself, and you gotta just cook something out of in just get some boiled water, and you are good to go. I would give maybe like left pinky for a good bowl of ramen right now, like
I
sometime soon.
know.
I can like
I know.
go.
Every time this team comes up, I always end up craving ramen, especially
Uh,
since it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, go all the way like to Molita or something. Let's go to Mendocuro. I wish we were sponsored by something like that. But hey, it is what it is. But hey, we can also say I wish we were sponsored by something like Safeguard and the like. But it is gonna be a titan matchup, honestly, between Wamanagi as well as Washed Up Omis. This is a big one, Mika. This is honestly what people are saying to be the biggest matchup in the New Wave Invitationals after basically both teams defeating Meme Gourd in a pretty interesting but as well as dominant fashion. Many were expecting three teams, actually these two plus Meme Gourd, to be basically the top of the food chain, but with Meme Court out of the way already, and these two teams now gonna be meeting. Well, this is the matchup that has the highest implications at the top of the New Wave Invitationals, because based on the rankings and the average of these teams, they are really at the high end. They are at the maximum limits of our capacities in the New Wave Invitationals, and they are the ones with the most experience in the Overwatch scene.
That's right. So I was actually wondering what your thoughts are for this. Who do you think is going to say like come out on top? I mean, we saw a lot of good things from Wamanagi ever since the very beginning of the New Wave Invitationals, but we also saw a really strong debut from the Washed Up Homies. So who do you think probably has more of the teamwork and the mechanical skill to pull through for tonight?
Well, I do feel like these two teams have a lot of variances and a lot of strengths and weaknesses. Both teams are very stack oriented. You could say Wamanagi as well as Washed Up Homies having really a family sense within them. But on the side of Washed Up Homies, they do have a little bit of that extra experience in the T3 scene, bringing in Lone to the table instead of having their usual members in the stack. So that is a little bit of that chemistry that the Washed Up Homies needs to work on, but they do have that experience within them. They also have a coach within Cyberbully, so that is going to be is really a structured format there for Washed Up Homies. In the meantime, Waminagi has always been together with one another. They have been playing Overwatch forever, and they are back into Overwatch because they want to be together. The only reason why they're in this right now is to play together, and they have really shown their stuff. Their newest additions really fitting into them. They've been already additions that they've been playing with, but the core of Waminagi is still there. The youth is still there, and they really have a good understanding of one another. But in their format, in their structure, well, there's more like chaos being a ladder, and it's just let's just go with what we can do. Let's just go with the momentum. And since youth really brings in a little bit of that spunk, well, sometimes they do get ahead of themselves and it can cost them. So honestly, I would really have this as a 50-50 matchup, because this can go either way. The first map will probably be able to set the tempo of the series, but until one team is up two maps, well, we won't really be able to know who is gonna be the one in charge. And this one is really big, guys. We have been talking about this for quite a while. People in Discord have been talking about this matchup for happening, and our Statsman Rebirth having a lot of things to say about this match. Before we go into further detail, we will be right back. We are just going to be ferrying people into the lobby, setting things up for this matchup, so stay tuned, stick around. This is the New Wave Invitationals, week number 3, day number 2, and we will be right back. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are getting set and ready to get into our action. Wamen Nagi gonna be running a few different subs actually today, as we do have Patty in place of Cuz, but it is gonna be the core of Arcane of Funtrick, Tamora, Zombich, as well as Vigilance. And meantime, for Watch the Bomies, we are gonna get a few debuts onto our roster. We are gonna have Flash in actually alongside Lone Blue, Cyanide, Mako Supreme, and Ambi. And we are gonna start things off, guys, on Nepal. And this map, well, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how these two teams will play it, because I know that both teams have a lot of experience playing Nepal, have a lot of experience figuring out how the maps work, and have a lot of know-how and how to play the different map types in Nepal to such a good degree. Remember, guys, we are gonna do a 4 map sets, and it is all about trying to get those map wins. Even if some team gets a 3-0 advantage, we will continue on to go for a 4th. But if two teams are tied 2-2, well, we will have a tiebreaker that is necessary. If you guys need a quick little reminder in the New Wave Invitationals, well, these are our rule set, more or less PH only invitational, with a team average of Diamond and under 4 maps. Matchups are available on the T rule sets. And of course, we do have a weight-based ban system, which we haven't really used yet. I'm very, very interested to see how that one is going to unfold into the future. But hey guys, we are back. I'm Daks and she's Mika. And Mika, well, we got a lot of stats there from Rebirth. You got anything for us that you think might really be a big factor into this coming matchup?
That's right. Thank you, Rebirth, by the way, for this for your awesome analysis and all of these stats over here at me and Dax's disposal. So it's looking like things are in the favor of Wamen Nagi at the moment. I think, like I was telling you this earlier, they seem to just be a little bit more consistent at the moment than Washed Up Homies. But as you mentioned, Washed Up Homies does have the experience behind their back, so we'll see if that will pull through in this match. It's worth noting, for example, that the 2 damage dealers on the side of Wamen Nagi have done more damage than those of Washed Up Homies. And for the tank lineup as well, Lone actually does like the most damage among the tanks in these 2 teams right now. But Wamen Nagi has a higher win percentage with their tanks, and I think, well, Rebirth thinks that it might be because Lone does tend to charge a lot, and at what cost is that? Because he might not be present to help keep his team alive and really be there for his team. So we'll see if he'll be able to control that better tonight. But right now, things are looking like just ever so slightly in favor of Wamen Nagi.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that we've seen in the Wamen Nagi versus Meme Court game. There really was a degree of protection there from Zombich as well as a Funtrick when trying to really get those moves on, when trying to really get the peel and protection, as we are going to be going into Nepal, and that's a big deal right there. Lone is really, really good at getting the damage and hitting those big shatters, but we talked about it as well in their debut matchup, that there really were those instances where they could have gotten punished with the Reinhardt being out of position. So we'll see. That's that risk versus reward. Last time for Washed Up Homies, it rewarded them so well. This time though, we'll see if it's gonna be a different deal, as we are gonna get into map number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the poll and let's get into the action.
All right, so what lineups do you think we're expecting right now? If I'm right, this is the first time I think that Wamen Nagi we might be playing with Echo as part of the roster.
Yes, exactly.
Or did they have a match already?
No, they didn't. They so do have an Echo available into this one, as we are going to be starting things off on Nepal Shrine. It's all about the mirror matchup here and now. And Wamen Nagi playing that May Reaper that they're very, very comfortable with. Arcane on Tamora, very flexible on multiple heroes. But this is really a composition that they have tried, tested, and enjoy playing in the first place. Going to CQC Patty, going to be a dedicated Lucian main right there into the roster. Very, very potent in a matchup like this, in a composition like this. And I love the addition here from Wamen Nagi. They have added up Patty as well as Kronos to their roster to fill it up to those 8 slots. In the meantime, it's going to be Lone and Flash looking to work together. And if I remember correctly, these two have had chemistry before in previous tournaments as well as Pug setups. But right here, right now, Lone going to be going for the charge again. Doesn't hit anything. Wamen Nagi in the meantime staying on the sides. And Tamora with the first frag here and now, going for the shots. The Reaper so strong in CQC. And here from Wamen Nagi, the closer they fight, the closer they go for the axe, well, this is gonna look better and better for them. Double pin, get a lead to the takedown on the lone arc. They know with the frag, and Wamen Nagi with first control here on Shrine.
That's right. I'm wondering if Cyanide's Farah and the Ana will be able to get through this sort of like phalanx setup that Wamen Nagi has right now. It seems like they're trying to bait, or they're trying to encourage Wamen Nagi to really come at them, but their strength really lies in the fact that they can really snowball well.
Exactly, and there you go right now. It's Cyanide on his signature Farah. It's something he's very comfortable with and does enjoy playing. But it's going to be very interesting because Tamura loves playing the Farah as well. But she's on the Reaper right now. Raj on the side, taking cover by the side of the Shrine. I do like the play there from Cyanide, but it is just going to be Wamen Nagi disengaging onto the point instead. Very smartly done there by the blue hand side. They are on the defense right now as they do have point control. And Archdaniel catching out Cyanide. Patty even with the boop as the resetting Mako Supreme gets caught out. And watch the homies has to reset right now. Wamen Nagi looking in complete control.
That's right. I'm actually not seeing so much aggression from Lone at this point, but it might actually be working well, showing that he has maybe a little bit more restraint this round. But it seems like he's not quite getting into the groove of it just yet with Flash.
It's like when you tell an addict to stop doing something and then he's really trying. Well, you can see it's a little bit of that issue right there. As Zombits gets a shatter onto Lone, gonna be able to get the takedown onto the opposing Reinhardt. And withdrawal symptoms perhaps here for Washed Up Homies, but it really is just Wamen Nagi and how they're playing into this map. They are baiting and leading Washed Up Homies to a side they can actually win on now, pretending that, hey, you guys can bring the Farah here and get the damage done. But unfortunately, Wamen Nagi always disengaging back to the point, engaging with a push-pull antics. Grab the surge right now from Frontrick from the side, and you can really see momentum in favor of them. Londo with a shatter rocket barrage again from Cyanide, very quickly done, but again it just doesn't get much value. Cyanide never in position to really get the flag barrages on, does really put on the pressure, but here comes Samura. Death Blossom, a killing machine onto the objective, wants to go for the Reinhardt. That's gonna be Frontrick getting the pin. Nano Boost though out of nowhere, Blue playing it clutch, keeping the team alive, but they need to touch, they need to step on. Washed Up Homies with a few hammer swings here and there. The Zarya Frontrick to the floor, but oh, they forget about the points. And Wamen Nagi 2.0, a hot start, 100-0 at the first map.
Well, Lone may have won that Reinhardt battle, but I really think that Wamen Nagi was just way too prepared. They knew that Farah ult was coming. I think they probably saw Cyanide sneaking around, so I think that sort of divide or that sort of sneak attempt of Washed Up Homies to get onto the point just wasn't going to work at that time. I wasn't feeling too optimistic for them at that point.
That's for sure, that's for sure. And it really was just every single time Cyanide was not in position for a barrage that really gets value. Well, it's Wamen Nagi's victory. They're not even playing the Diva right now. They're just able to use that speed boost, utilize it to get onto the other side. And they're using their invulnerability states between their two DPS to really keep them up in many scenarios where they should have gotten picked off. No real overextending here from Wamen Nagi as well. A lot of restraint in their composition. And they are really coming out ahead into this one. Might as well go set on up. And here comes a May and a McCree for the side of Washed Up Homies. May Reaper still on Wamen Nagi, and they are going to be keeping up with Moira versus Diana. So it's up to Blue to look for value with these nades, either with the extra healing or with the anti-heal. But Zombie drops down and just destroys Alone and Blue. Seems like here for Washed Up Homies, the issue right now is they aren't really as in tune with their tank line. The support line a little too far up, especially at Lucia of Mako Supreme. It's an easy pickings here, and there Wamen Nagi 2.0 looking like an upgrade and looking really potent to start things off again here on Village.
That's true. I was expecting for Mako Supreme to really utilize that speed boost and probably for them to snowball as fast as Wamen Nagi did onto the point. But it's looking like they were hesitating at some point when they got onto that bridge and they just couldn't pull through right then and there. But here they are on the point right now, and we'll see if they'll finally take it this time. But oh my gosh, that's an amazing shatter over there. I don't think it's gonna work this time. No.
Zombich with the shatter, with the pin, and he is the shatter machine we gotta keep an eye out on. But keep an eye out on this quick little replay, ladies and gents, as we do see Wamen Nagi rotate right now to that high ground. But just got the pin, saw the Reinhardt, not paying attention, shatter connects, and easy pickings there, and then So onto engagement we go, and here comes the ice walls yet again. Still though, Ambi overextending will get taken down, and it's gonna be a coalescence into play as Malvichla's tearing everyone apart. Zombage into the back line, and that is absolute destruction from Wamen Nagi side. Gets another team kill. And you can really say that Washed Up Homies, well, they do have a very, very interesting team comp right now with their roster, as they do have Ambi on that DPS yet again, when he's more renowned as a tank player, especially on the main tank side.
That's true, and you know what, this really, really tight spot. You really do not want to be in that narrow little corridor when you have a raging Reinhardt and you have Mora's Coalescence backing him up as well. That was just the wrong move for Washed Up Homies there.
Arcade taking in that Washed Up Homies on the south side. They are gonna go for the sound barrier, but they are gonna need more than that. They need picks right here, right now. They have only gotten 3 kills to the 36 that Wamen Nagi has. A commanding lead here for the blue hand side. But here comes the picks finally from Lone and Ambi. Can Ambi stay alive? No, Timora gonna go for that Death Blossom and literally breaks through the wall. Just gonna bring that ice pick over and gonna climb her way to victory. Timora tearing everyone apart yet again with those Hellfire shotguns. Shots are abound, and this is Wamen Nagi looking to control. They go for the sandbar, but they lose some more. That's a pretty big pickoff, courtesy of Flash. Ice Wall is there, though. Flash able to step onto the point still, but Arctano being such a pest. Lone right now, next on the list, gonna fall on over to the corner, and Wamen Nagi 2.0 forces the Lucia off, and will take a strong start here in the New Wave Invitationals.
Such a definitive win. And I mean, you really saw actually, like, I was rather impressed at Wamen Nagi. I mean, you mentioned that because of their inexperience compared to Washed Up Homies, they might have, you know, some of those slip-ups. But in this case, they were looking like a really well-controlled and very restrained team. It's looking like they really look like they're the team to top the New Wave Invitationals at this point.
Absolutely, and cards all abound. Look at that, 51% on that Moira. Ridiculous. Zombage doing such a good job as well. The tank line, as well the DPS. Everyone on the list. You get a command. Everyone gets a command. But this is something I want to bring up in that match, Mika. You can really see that for Washed Up Homies, they did have Cyanide doing a lot of damage, but it's the same thing when you're playing the Pharah, but you're not able to secure those kills. Well, having that gold medal on damage, having a big number on that doesn't really matter. At the tail end, if I remember correctly, Rebirth has something more to say about that. But what do you think? What does Washed Up Homies need to do to secure these kills, even though they're getting the numbers already in their favor?
That's right. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of coordination between the two damage dealers of the Washed Up Homies right now. I mean, you're totally right that when you deal that amount of damage but you're not securing the kills, it's pretty useless, and there's probably nobody to follow up Cyanide as he goes in at that point. It seems like everybody's kind of doing their own thing at the moment, and Ambi sometimes isn't there to follow up as well, and you think that he might be playing a Mei or something to help Cyanide, but I don't know. I think they just need a little bit more coordination. The tanks just seem to be thinking that they're also doing the damage. They're entering in on one side, the damage is going off and doing their own thing. I think they're just not quite gelling as well tonight as they did maybe even last week.
Yeah, exactly. Like last time, they were able to really come together with Lone. They were like, okay, Lone's gonna go for it. Let's all go for it, and it worked out favors for them. That aggressive playstyle really panning out for them. But right now, since it seems like they are taking a more restrained approach, especially playing against a worthy opponent, as you could say, as an opponent that they feel like they really have to prepare for, it seems like they're getting a little in their heads. Their passive play as well as their lack of coordination between their lines are really costing them. We're seeing a Lucia out of position like that, as the Lone Reinhardt as well as the Ana dropping on down, just getting clocked by Zombel. That is just such a big indicator that they need to have a little more time to figure things out. They need to find a little more space to work with, because you're not supposed to get hit by a Reinhardt that many times when you have the Lucia, because you can run away, guys. You have 2 legs, sometimes you have 4, depends on who you're playing. Sometimes you're floating on the air, that's the best flankers. So Mika, I have a question right now. So I don't think Zenyatta is the best flanker anymore. It's Echo now. It's Echo now.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, you also can't hear her, and
she's actually DPS.
Yeah, she's actually DPS and she is a lot
Actually,
more mobile. But
DPS.
you know what? If you still want that, you could probably just duplicate a Zen and still flank anyway. I don't know why you would flank and then suddenly duplicate a
With,
Zen, but
come on,
maybe
why
you
not?
have.
Why not?
Wait,
Zen
it
balls are
might
pretty strong. They're pretty
work.
strong. But hey, you know what else is gonna be strong? The presence of our next map. Can you guess what our next map is, Mika? Clue, it's hybrid. So you know. So you know. What could
Oh,
it be? Come on,
what
come
are
on.
they picking? What are they picking?
Don't look, don't look, don't look
Because
at
I don't. Why are you
the
not making me look?
no, no,
Why
no,
are you
no,
not
no.
making
Come
me
on. I just
look?
want you to guess. I want you to guess what map in hybrid is always picked every single time.
Every single time? I don't know. We've done
I
icon wall
mean,
a lot.
yeah, sure,
We've done
sure, sure.
icon wall.
Stats wise, okay, Rebirth. Thanks for exposing me there with my hyperbolic statement. But you know, the Adidas too, the most popular app, the B Badlands. You
Ah,
know, our
course, of
near and
course,
dear
of
hybrid map.
course. Going over to
Jolly Kings Row.
yes,
Yeah,
in the
what's the worst British accent you can do, Mika?
the worst. The worst.
Like it
Don't.
sounds so fake, like such a
I don't want to
MacGuffin.
get
No,
in
no, you. I know.
trouble
You're not gonna
with
get
the
in
whole.
trouble. You're not gonna get in trouble. You're not
I don't
gonna
want
get in
to get in
trouble.
trouble with the whole.
Fine, fine. Give
Please,
me a.
I want snow.
I can feel those chimney stacks already puffing around, twirling their mustaches, and giving us a jolly good show. But we are going to be getting into a jolly good show in just a bit. So we are just confirming those sides. And yes, we are going to be getting King's Row for our map number 2. Nepal, though, is taken by Wamen Nagi 2.0. It's a 2-0 victory in a very dominant faction. And you know, Mika, seeing how Nepal unfolded, what do you think the DPS line has to do here for the side of Watch the Homies? Based on some of the things that Rupert has said, honestly, what else can we actually bring up to the table in comparison? Because I feel like their hero pools as well as their damage outputs are gonna be big indicators. So what do we have on the stat side, madam?
That's right. Well, Rebirth did point out that, for example, if Ambi is going to pull out the May again, it might be a disadvantage because Timora and Archdaniel are really just bringing out the damage. And it seems like also that their damage has a. They have two different goals, so to say. You have Ambi coming in as a sort of more utility, and then you have Cyanide here with the damage, but they're just not coordinating. So it doesn't complement each other that well. Whereas you have Timora and Archdaniel, who are really just dealing so much damage. I mean, Timora and Archdaniel actually don't deal as much damage as Cyanide. But the thing is, because they're a lot more coordinated, they really secure those kills so much. I mean, Timora and Archdaniel, both of them individually outnumber Cyanide and Ambi in terms of eliminations. So it's looking like they really have to gel. They really have to talk to each other. They really have to know what the other one is doing so that they can follow up accordingly. Meanwhile, you have the tank line that's actually doing, going in and securing those kills and everything, but that's not what they're supposed to be doing. Lone is supposed to be there and create space for the team instead of trying to, really try to one up that Ryan versus Ryan battle. So I don't know. It seems like right now the washed up homies have their own agendas, their own agenda. So meanwhile, Wamanagi, as you mentioned, they're the younger, they're team youth, but they are not, looking so inexperienced right now. They are looking like a a real team. They're looking like this, well-oiled machine right now.
They are quite a well-known machine. Even though we say they can be inexperienced, they have had a lot of experience in behind them. They have always been together, as we said. They play in the local scene. They don't bother with D3 enough. That's not their thing. They're here for fun. They're here to enjoy, and they're here to play with one another. Wamanagi has always been a dominant force in the community, able to really surprise many who prepare with just their raw strength and talent. And right now, it seems like they are really coordinating well. They're playing very disciplined. They have this natural instinct with one another, and they're looking very potent. I just want to bring up something you said about that DPS line where the numbers are really in favor of Wamanagi. It really goes to show, though, that having these two strong DPS does really outnumber having one on the side of Watch the Homies right now. Kudos to Andy for really trying, but we all know that he is more as a tank main. I've seen his Reinhardt, I've seen his Zarya, I've seen him really play that Winston as well, but he's not really too well versed on the DPS role. Right now, if I remember correctly, in the roster, he's filling things up and trying to make things work. And a little more experience will go a long way here, because that's what the New Wave Invitational is about. He really wants to be that flex player for his team, really lead the charge in that way, and he's doing such a good job. But it still really is that tank player mentality, as he does get a lot of damage blocked. If you guys pay attention to how much the Mei is able to get blocked with the Ice Walls, with just keeping the sustain, as long as Washed Up Homies is there to heal that Mei, he will be the tank that they need. And that was the thing I brought up last time on Meme Court. If Lone is doing this damage, and Ambi is doing the tanking, well, if it's not gonna happen this time, if Lone isn't doing the damage and Ambi's still doing the tanking, they're gonna need a little more damage. And it's either is Ambi who's gonna step up, or they're gonna go back to their roots. We're gonna see though what's gonna work for the side of Washed Up Homies, as they are gonna be on the defense this time, because Wamen Nagi gonna be choosing to attack first. Into this one, we go into King's Row, we go into the streets, and let's grab a pint and go to the pub. Let's enjoy King's Row.
That's right. Picking up a jolly old pint and heading into the streets of London.
Cheers, love! Oh.
Yes, cheers, love.
The
Cheers.
camel race here.
Anyway, I wanted to build up a bit on what you mentioned about Ambi being a tank main. Do you think this might mean that Wash Up Homies might change their lineup in the weeks to come?
Well, I'm not really too sure about that. We're also gonna have to try to figure things out, especially once the ECQ ends. Right now, many of these rosters are at our maximum limit of 8, but we do want to figure out what we can actually do for them as soon as things open up more, for a little more availability for people who don't really have setups at home. But in the meantime, our first priority was to get those 8 teams going, and Wash Up Homies is doing a pretty admirable job right now. They do have Ambi again on that Mei side and on McCree. It pretty much is the tried and tested composition here for Washed Up Homies, but as we said, Ambi's gonna need to step up, or it's Lone who having to need that hammer to really get the toil on. It really must be a conflict of chemistry and a conflict of ideology right now for Washed Up Homies. They want to play the aggression, but they are really trying to play a little better in terms of being a well-oiled machine. Because I agree, if Lone is less on the aggressive side, even though he is very potent at it, he's going to be able to save his team in a myriad of situations. But right here, right now, onto the point we go. Rotation from Wamen Nagi already. Tomorrow right now, though, gonna get stunned up. Cyanide putting in the pressure, and I like the flag here from Cyanide, but he can get overrun out of nowhere. There you go, Patty realizing the situation. A very on point Lucio, very aware of when to speed boost and when to not, but we do lose Fun Trick for some reason, and Wamen Nagi 2.0 gonna be without their off tank into this one, as we are gonna be trying to get some reconnects on to this game.
Okay, this is really interesting watching restrain himself. I mean, I little that desire to charge in, especially when Wamen Nagi was entering back and up against the wall, literally, and it was such an open door for Lone to just charge in there, but he really didn't, because he knew that they had that Mei out. He knew that there was a possibility that he could get walled out and cut off from his support line. So I was really cheering from them, like, don't do it, and he didn't.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. So yeah, we do have to wait on right now, and we are just hearing that ticking sound, my favorite ticking sound of the game, as we are gonna try to get Fun Trick back. Seems like a little bit of some VPN issues right there, Mika. And I just want to point out that was such a good rotation there from Wamen Nagi already. They were able to get on through to the other side of the Hetel very quickly, and overall it was just such a strong push from them. They found that Cyanide was going for the flank, they look for the punish, and even though they're gonna be down their off tank right now, they're looking pretty primed to get this point.
That's right, and we also saw like once they realized that attention was on them, once they realized that all eyes were there, and they were backed up against the wall. I mean, I find that as a really scary position, especially when you have Lone, who is known for charging right in front of you. You had Tamora come out and try to draw a little bit of attention back, and once they saw that opening, started putting up those walls there, and they were really able to show this nice, slow, calm, restrained, and almost just matter of factly just walked in.
Yeah, and it seems like Fun Trick is back and ready to go, and seems like we are gonna get back into our game, ladies and gentlemen. Still though, the action unfolding on to the point, making sure that they are gonna be brawling as much as possible. It really has to be a matter of being ready to go, and both sides are good. Let's get back into the game, let's get back into the action, and we'll see who's gonna survive in this upcoming fight. And here and now, we do see that Lucio hopping on around as Mako screaming. Deep in the getting frags on the board on both sides. Tomorrow, though, gonna be able to get some kills here and now. Wamen Nagi 2.0 all over the objective. They have that Reaper destroying everyone and anyone. Hellfire shotguns all about. Wamen Nagi 2.0 onto that first stick. They will capture that one. Looking pretty potent into the start.
I don't think there was ever any doubt once they got those first 2 frags on the board. I think that like this was just wide open for Wamen Nagi to walk in and take that payload. And it's looking like a smooth sailing so far for tonight, for Wamen Nagi tonight.
Yeah, besides losing a little bit of that energy and ult charge there on Funchikens, it is going to be a 5-minute time back moving into the second point. Still though, Washington is doing an admirable job there, getting some really good damage yet again. And you can see Blue is the one right now leading the charge alongside Sun, Zarya, as well as the Moira, making sure those biotic matter. Here comes the Ice Walls though, thrown on over. Blizzard can be into play, Sound Barrier right here right now. Cyanide though with the Deadeye on the side. And Washed Up Homies don't have to hold for the time being. But the Death Blossom is such a good barricade destroyer. And here comes Zombich as well with the Shatter. They did take care of the Reaper though. Wamen Nagi right now having to make sure that they can secure it with an extra ultimates. Washed Up Homies, even though they lose the battle, they do get a lot more economy back in their favor. They have the Blizzard, they have the grab, looking good for the next defense onto this point.
That's right, and it's looking like it's looking like so far Washed Up Homies are getting those they're getting a lot of opportunities actually to take this map back, but they just don't seem to be running through those open doors, so to say. I mean, a while ago Timora kind of like went all the way around, and she was almost a little bit late for the team. It's a good thing that she was able to follow up with that Death Blossom right away, but then 1 second later, and she wouldn't have made it. But she was also denied. So it seemed like if there was a quick follow-up during that time that Death Blossom was denied, they might have been able to take that choke point right there.
Yeah, and there you go already. Here comes Washed Up Homies. They are going to use their ultimates in their favor. And that's a beautiful Blizzard there from Ambi, realizing the situation, stays from the right-hand flag, and decides to throw down the snowball. Washed Up Homies holding steadfast, finally going to be able to get defense going their favor. And that's just really the economy forced out earlier on. Wamen Nagi tried to go for the Death Blossom play. They lost the Reaper. They had to go for the Shatter instead. And this time, no turnabout play courtesy of Zombich. He is coming closer and closer to the Shatter. And Lone Overextending actually gonna get caught here. Wamen Nagi, unrelenting, will go for the push. Here comes the Ice Wall, and after the praise there, Washed Up Homie, seems like everything is falling apart. Grafton Surge though gonna be into play. Cyanide right now with the Deadeye up above and gets a clock onto Vigilance. But the McCree has to hide. Here comes the Blizzard right now. Arctino making a zone of frost, a ring of safety here and now for Wamen Nagi 2.0. But Cyanide up on top, getting these frags. It seems like he can deal the damage, and when there are no shields in his way, he's gonna be able to get those heads. With Arctino back on to the fight Lone right now, rampaging and trying to brawl against the Mei. It's just not gonna happen. Sound Barrier here from Patty just to secure it, kinda unnecessary. But Wamen Nagi won't have it any other way. They will get this second point.
That was a good attempt, I feel like, by the Washed Up Homies, but at that last point, they were just trickling in way too much. We really saw Ambi do some work and really determined to stay on the payload. But you're right, Lone just overextended and got punished for that. And without that, Reinhardt making as much space as he can for his team, they could not deal with the Wamen coming in.
Speaking of dealing though, Graviton Surge right now, counter Blizzard though for Ambi. He gets a quick one this time, very impressive in terms of that time. And Lone gonna be able to get the charge on in. It's Lone with his signature play. Press that left shift, charge on in, get those kills, hit the Shatter. And he will just be a machine here, Washed Up Homies, that gets those kills yet again.
I feel like if the more aggressive really plays into the favor of the Washed Up, perhaps they should build their strategy around that. Maybe they should build around that more offensive and just let Lone go ham when he can. Maybe they have to find a way on how to sustain that attacking grind.
Yeah, this really goes to show it is all about using the parts that you are given. And Washed Up Homies right now going to be going for that push one more time. It really goes to show when you got that 3 tank players in your roster, you just want to go back to 2018 and play guys, can we go goats please? Can we go goats, bro, goats? 3-3 as the Washed Up Homies getting a 3 on the other side there, and we'll be able to push them back. Look out, Mika, I have a question. Do you miss goats?
Do I miss goats? No, I do not.
Okay,
I do
okay, okay,
not miss goats
okay,
at all.
okay, okay. I understand. I understand. So let's go back into the game instead. So as you said, yeah, for Lone, look at that. He's already at 4.9 game damage. He is ahead of his DPS right now, just hitting that hammer on away. But here comes the speed boost. Here comes Blizzard. Huge thing from Maka Supreme after the Grafton Surge. And Washed Up Homies can mop this fight up. But Arc Daniel, before he dies, he's going to be able to get the Blizzard on load right now with the Shatter, making sure it gets to secure. And that's a clean one there from the side of Washed Up Homies. The nade from Maka Supreme, absolutely essential for that fight.
Oh, and as you can see, Wamen Nagi right now doesn't have a lot for them. I mean, they use their ultimates. And on the side of the Wash of Homies, you still have the Coalescence and the Blizzard and Nano possibly coming in the next clash. So it's looking really good for the side of Wash of Homies. And as we saw a while ago, Mako Supreme really denying that Death Blossom from Kimura. He was ready for it right there and right then. So I think Wash of Homies are really getting their over here.
I like this from Ambi. He's really waking up and getting these blizzards at the right time. It's not the fastest, but it is fast enough to cycle with the rest of the team. With Lone using the Shatter on previous fights, Ambi is given the opportunity to control the action with the blizzard instead. We do see Punching Those swap it over to the Orisa. And it's the Rhino Orisa comp right here right now for Wamen Nagi 2.0. They want to go for the Brawl and give Zombage maximum value. All those holds going to be mid and Junkertown surges, and it's going to be allowing Ambi to fall into the hole instead. Funtrick playing one back, doing one better. Decides to go for the drop, but Cyanide in behind gets the flank on. And this is the McCree in a tight spot. Can he actually get the meds back in time? We'll be able to do so. Now with Zombage giving chase to the McCree, this is Lone giving free realm to do whatever the hell he wants. And the Lone Wolf gonna be prowling, gets Nano boosted up as well. Washed Up Homies making sure that their Reinhardt is not gonna die anytime soon. And it seems like the pack has woken on up here for Washed Up Homies, especially on this third point defense.
That was a fantastic play. You know what? We saw just the right amount of restraint when they didn't panic when Ambi, was pulled by the halt over there by Funtrick. They didn't panic. They stayed their ground, and Lone was able to, as you mentioned, charge right in. But right now, Coalescence coming here by Wamen Nagi, and I think this is the push that they're actually looking for. Zombage has a Shatter as well, and he could probably let this hammer down in this next few seconds right here, right after this pull over here from Blue.
Yeah, Coalescence there from Blue after Vigilance did his standard Vigi Coalescence, putting in the pressure, allowing Wamen Nagi to get the push on. They do have two shields to play with, and Lone gonna go for the charge, and that is gonna be the punish there. Zombage sees a charging Reinhardt, hits that Q, gets the stun on, but Cyanide, beautiful positioning, and Abby swapping over to the Bastion. Space is created. It seems like it's a bait and switch here. Washed Up Homies playing into those expectations. The Bastion in behind right now, and Abby just tracking along, tracing wherever the opposition is gonna go, and they will be able to defend the last point of King's Row. Impressive effort there from the side of Washed Up Homies, turning it around and getting things done. Seems like though a pause gonna be in order real quick. All you need to do though is that disconnect, and we should be going back though into our talking points. So Mika, interesting round so far, has been a strong showing here from both sides, but Washed Up Homies
right.
defending.
And I think, you know what? I think when backed into a corner, that's when he really cannot resist going aggressive. But I think that's really what you need when you have those, when you're in that last point, when you're at that last round, and you have like 2 minutes left on the clock. You really need to go aggressive. Otherwise, they're just gonna a team like Wamen Nagi is going to back you in the corner. So I really like how Washed Homies was able themselves. I was able to really keep it together in those last few minutes, those last few seconds, and those last few clashes. But Wamen Nagi did push a long way. There are a lot of opportunities for them to just wipe out the Wash Up Home when it comes their turn to attack.
And this is very interesting. I'm interested by why they chose to go for the attack first. Seems like they do want to go for those full cap situations, but at the same time, if you're very confident coming in for the first map, don't you want to go on the defense first, try to be the standard, try to hold your opponent to a specific spot, and really prevent them from getting any further? Because right now, this gives confidence to Wash Up Homies. They've figured things out, they have gotten things to go back in their favor, and I feel like in terms of that mind games, Wamen Nagi making a mistake, picking that attack first, and not getting the full cap that they really expected. They had a composition that was really all about the brawl, but in the end, it was Washed Up Homies bringing the fight to them and figuring things out to allow them to utilize their tank and DPS line accordingly.
That's right. I mean, that's probably something that we can ask them later on. Should somebody go over for in-game report or a courtside report if you want to
Maybe
drag
halftime
somebody in?
halftime
Like,
report. We'll see.
yes, like
We
you
have a
do,
lot.
because I do want to know the answer to the question as well. I really do think that now Wash Up Homies have got Wamanagi figured out, at least for King's Row, which could spell doom for Wamanagi, and then at this point.
All right, we'll see though, as we are going to be getting back into the action as Tamura has reconnected. And yes, it seems like Wamanagi also suffering a few technical issues along the way. But no excuses there. Watch the Pomi is doing an impressive job to actually get things through and to get things done in the first place. So right here, right now, though, we are going to be going back into King's Row, the second half of this game, the second half of this fight. And the interesting part here and now, Mika, is how will Wamanagi defend? Because they will want to go for a full hold scenario. They don't want to make it all the way to that third points, even though they will have that spawn advantage, because it seems like Wash the Homies has realized how to play the latter half of the map pretty well. But here for the attack of Wash the Homies, will they actually go on the Bastion? But more on a stable composition for Wamanagi, it's that May Reaper yet again between our standards on the red hand side.
What's interesting, Dax, is like I'm looking at the stats right now, and Wash Up Homies really have more kills than Wamanagi right now. However, it was looking like Wamanagi was really had their composition together up until that third point when they couldn't quite figure out the puzzle that was Lone and Ambi working together as a tank and a pseudo tank. But it is interesting to note that Wash Up Homies still have a lot more kills than Wamanagi does.
Yeah, it's really just the kills right now. Washed Up Homie is able to really get those brawls. It just has to be the defense holding Mika. Since Washed Up Homies just elapsed that time bank, Wamanagi means that they lost all those fights at the tail end of King's Row. So it really goes to show it makes sense, because Washed Up Homie is going to be at the attack there, at the advantage. And right now they are bringing that advantage to a maximum. The Cyanide flying up in the air. They expected the May Reaper, and they have adjusted accordingly. Cyanide very, very comfy in the size. Blue going to be in behind. They are going to be playing that Lucio Mercy pairing, which is a little awkward in terms of that healing department. But Wamanagi unable to really get the punish on. Now usually when you are playing a brawl composition like Wamanagi's, you want to see that what they're playing, then you realize, okay, they're playing Lucio Mercy, we can overrun the opposition, but they gave Cyanide too much space, too much burst. They didn't get the blocks on those rockets, and they will get punished for it. It is gonna be washed up homies right here, right now, with Cyanide close to that barrage.
That's right, and I think they were able to catch Zombitch as well at an early point, and once they had him down, they knew that that was their signal to go forward.
Yeah, we'll see how this one is going to pan out. Funtrick as well as Zombitch right now are going to be out in front. And in the meantime, they are going to be looking to hold this arcway. Very, very good though, to just keep the plug in. And you guys are tuning in to the New Wave Invitationals, a PH League system wherein we get 8 teams invited over to do action, to do battle with one another on a bi-weekly basis. But here and now, let's get into that rocket barrage. Cyanide going to make it rain, and it is going to be the frost down below. Seems like temperatures here in London absolutely freezing, but low right now with the shatter yet again. Hammer swings are about. Sun right now looking like the father instead. Washed Up Homies pushing on forward, and a quick thing to note, actually, Sun has been doing a lot of work as well alongside Lone. Seems like the substitution here from Washed Up Homies working out in their favor as well.
Wow, that was probably one of the first times that I saw a Reinhardt chasing down the Lucio and actually making it right beside the Lucio as Lone went in to dive and try to chase Patty down. Patty escaped though, making it back to her team.
Yeah, speed kills and
space
apparently
created
Patty.
over here by the Wash Up.
Yeah, so here comes Lone right now, and Zombitch gonna go for the shadow, but it gets blocked up. Sand barrier into play. Gonna be seeing these two teams do battle with those shields. But it's Patty actually getting the frag on from Lord Lucio, hanging on back, but doesn't get the boop in time. They heard the resurrection coming, but they didn't get the punish on. Wamen Nagi 2.0 still have to deal with the rider yet again. This time they're gonna get punished. Alone with that shatter. Garrett Surge in the middle. Funtrick right now trying to survive, still gonna fall. And Washed Up Homies overrunning the opposition. This is looking really, really good here for the blue hand side. All they need to do now is deal with that coalescence as Zombitch falls on over on the defensive end.
That's right, and it's down to the second point over here, and yet nobody has still been able to take down Zion. And just been getting some free hits over here and flying around, and nobody has still been able to deal with him.
And watch the homies using this far to a solid degree. Now this is an opportunity for them to actually swap things over off that far, as this is the third point of King's Row. Having a ceiling really hurts the mobility here of the far in the first place, but at the same time Barrage going to be available, so this might be a dash and die kind of situation. This must be the Barrage and die situation. A Cyanide looking to provide fire support. Blizzard though is forced out already. Zombie going to take care of Lone, and if Wamen Nagi plays this right, this is already a one fight for them. There you go. Takes down the May using the McCree. Sundo with a counter kill onto Zombich. Beyond that, Wamen Nagi 2.0 defending for now, but they still will be up for a reckoning as soon as Cyanide gets in position.
It's looking really good. Well, so far it seems like Wamen Nagi now is in the same spot that they were able to, that they weren't able to push through with the washed up homies in the previous match. But we'll see, because like Cyanide here is still just getting some free hits, and I think we're gonna see a barrage coming in right here because the grab, that was an open door over there. Timora in response.
Huge ultimates for both sides, but Archdaniel is all alone against Lone. The payload's getting pushed. The May tried to get close, and look at that! They used the May Ice Wall as a ramp fun trick with the speed, actually getting over to the other side. Coalesces right here, right now from Vigilance as well, keeping the beam on. And we'll see if Wamen Nagi 2.0 can keep the pressure into this one. Blue right here, right now, trying to back on as shots keeping on coming. Cyanide actually staying on the Pharah. Tamora is gonna be happy with that one. Sees the Rocketeer up on top and forces Blue and Cyanide to hide on the side. But Mako Supreme ready with that sound barrier. This is forcing Wamen Nagi to play that payload to fruition, and onto the twin ice walls we go, using that as a hop, skip, and jump. Londo gonna be an absolute MVP right now, gets the shatter yet again. Sound barrier now for the blue hand side, and Lone gonna be okay, charging on the way instead. So after looking like a hero, gonna be like a little awkward there. Space now given to Wamen Nagi yet again to try and survive Archdaniel with that blizzard, but the action is not over yet. Keeping the fight on right here, right now. Going for the hammer swing, shatter connecting onto Mako Supreme, the Lucia to the floor. Zombich Timora getting on the board as well. Sound barrier is still available, and Wamen Nagi 2.0 holding there as soon as the Reinhardt goes out of position.
I feel like, you know when things are getting serious when you suddenly bring out the Wrecking Ball to contest, because you just know you need that speed to get onto the payload, and you need to clear as well the mines of a Wrecking Ball. I mean, that's an excellent clear, especially for a point as close as this.
It's ridiculous actually looking at the damage tab right now. 60k for washed up homies, and Cyanide are very close with one another. Compared to Zombich, who is doing an astronomical job as well, but it's more about damage taking. You can really see the differences in terms of ideology. Sound barrier though from the side of Patty, a little too late to save Vici, but it saves everyone else. Fun trick with the zoning mines. And Wamen Nagi 2.0 in the last stand situation. This is going to be absolutely heroes there. Now Cyanide though, hitting that kill box just to get the reset on already. A fight one here for Wamen Nagi, but they need to really secure every single one into this one, because a minute 45, Cyanide with a proper swap. Finally out of that far onto the McCree. Expected this a lot earlier on. Lucia as well here for Blue. And like is better for Watch the Homies. We'll see if they can actually work on this with the Gravity Surge and the Blizzard in hand.
That's right, and Wamen Nagi over here really getting ready with all of their clears. They have Timora on standby right now with that Deadeye, and they have Blizzard and the stun from Reinhardt coming in as well.
Blizzard now gonna be into the fray, grabs the surge, catches out Fun Trick, and that's very smart there from Wamen Nagi 2.0. Fun Trick, an absolute marts here. He decides to jump on in, he decides to get in the way, he knew something was coming, and the Graviton Surge caught by the Wrecking Ball. Another reset right here, right now. Wamen Nagi 2.0 impressing with all their antics. Ambi though swapping over to the Junkrat. And honestly, while this isn't the most standard pick, I feel like this can work in a way. It's all about spam right here, right now. They only have that one barrier. No Zarya for Fun Trick. He's on that Wrecking Ball. And if Ambi gets the trap to connect, as well as really that spam onto the payload, he can potentially get a quick Riptire and blow everyone apart. We'll see though if Ambi can turn things around with this Junkrat. Cyanide now gonna be on that McCree still. Beams are there. Cyanide now getting attacked onto Fun Trick. And the Shatter onto the Lucio, overextending. Good pickouts here. And now Washed Up Homies going for the clincher. Nanopus though onto Zombich. He's gonna go for charge. He's trying to get the hammer swings on. Now that's gonna get two! First strike for the price of one! Huge bag from Zombich. He's a hero. He's the one who truly is gonna get a statue into the future. The flags of our father is gonna be bearing the name of Zombich for years to come as he holds on to that payload. 10 seconds left though. It's all about Lone right here, right now. Speed is truly of the essence. And if he can get a boop or two, he might be able to get a kill. But here comes the ice wall. Here comes the freeze. Here comes the body block. And the Pile driver into the hole. Zombie pushing that one down. Overtime not taking away. Ambi now with the touch. Cyanide with that dead eye. Oh, the total mayhem though takes care of Archdaniel. Big mistake there from the May, but still keeping things up. Wamen Nagi right now with the mines, and Funtrick with an explosive finale. Washed up homies. Almost got it, but almost is never good enough. And that is gonna be Wamen Nagi taking another map. 2-0 now the lead. Absolutely clutch plays there from Wamen Nagi.
That was amazing, and I feel like, you know, even though Zombitch got caught in the trap, he with the nano boost, he really just went in and obliterated the washed up homies, and that was such an amazing play. That really sealed the deal. Even though there was some time marking clock, you just knew it was over for the washed up homies once Zombitch came out.
Absolutely, and that is gonna be map number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, very tight match, very close, and we told you that this match is worth the watch, so you gotta share this one, you gotta share the stream, you gotta tell everyone that you guys gotta check out some of the most amazing PH teams battled it out right now. But Kings Row will be taken by Wamen Nagi in a very close 3-2, and in the meantime, guys, we will be taking a quick halftime break. We are gonna be trying something new. We're gonna see if we can actually drag someone on in, and we will be right back. We're just gonna fix up a few things here in the New Wave Invitational, so don't go away. We're gonna be bringing you a different segment as well as more action coming your way here in the NWI. See you guys really soon. We'll be back in a bit. So hello guys and welcome. After a little bit of a halftime break, we are gonna get our halftime courtside report. And what better way to get a courtside report when our courtside reporter is busy casting than dragging another player on is like yoink, you're here now, and welcome to Mr. Zombich of Wamen Nagi 2.0. You guys are up 2-0 right now in our matchup against Washed Up Homies. How does it feel to be such ahead? And how does it feel after such a huge clutch play there at the end of the Kings Row map?
To be honest, I'm overwhelmed right now. I
That's
don't
good
know
way.
what to
It's
say.
good that we're doing this so you can calm down a little bit for your next map. Anyway, go ahead.
To be honest, I thought I was fucked. Uh, because they were all on me, and I decided to press Q and win the game.
You kind of did. You kind of did.
Yeah.
It was really impressive. He just went for it. The fire strike was absolutely huge. Did you call for the nanoboost to come to you, or did you just
No,
get it? Oh
just
my!
vigilance just nanoed me.
That is absolutely trust.
Yep.
They trust you so much, Zom. That's like is really good. And congratulations to you guys on the advantage right now. But the action isn't over yet. We don't want to take too much of your time. There is one question we do want to ask though. Why did you guys pick the attack first on the King's Row? You had such a commanding lead on Nepal, but usually when you have a lead like that, you feel like you're the standard. You're the one who's gonna be able to really lead things, and usually you're the one on the defense first. What made you go on the attack? Because you know that allows the washed up homie side to get some confidence back, especially as they held you on that third point.
To be honest, we are just sticking to what we are good at. We
Okay.
are on that map. We are always going attack first because we are going to do the same strat over and over again until we we,
Until it works.
we that that doesn't work anymore, and we're
Uh-huh.
gonna compromise instead.
Yeah, and you know it's been very impressive, and thank you, Mr. Zombich. And we know this isn't your forte, but thank you for giving us a few of those. You can go back over to your channel, and we'll see what else you can be doing into this halftime. Go! Please do it yourself. Dragging people to
Okay.
the bottom of the Discord is the hardest thing ever. I think I have to bring you to like 4 different channels, like Hop 1, Hop 2, Hop 3, and Hop 4. But right here, right now, guys, thank you to Zombies right there.
Thank you,
Thank
Zombich.
you.
We are gonna get Junkertown next on the list. So it's all about the escort map type, and it is gonna be all about snipers perhaps into this one. What do you think, Mika? Junkertown's a fun map to see, especially when you get that Widowmaker, that Hanzo, that Ash on the board, and just getting those headshots from different angles.
Definitely. Well, maybe Wamanagi is going to stick to their really nice little, little snowball technique over here. But probably, as we saw in the previous map, we know that like their Timora is probably itching to get out a little bit of the hit scan out there, as well as Cyanide. But we'll see. I mean, like you mentioned, it is a wide and open map, so it could be a dogfight over here. I mean, that first point, the first part of Junkertown is really nice for people to, found mercy all around because it's such a wide open space. But yeah, going back to that little courtside report from Zombich, I found it really interesting that that clutch play that we saw was really just almost a desperate attempt. It was probably Vigilant just going, okay, here goes. There's nothing left to lose. I'm gonna nano him. They really didn't have anything left to lose. The clock was, close to zero. The payload was right there, and it worked out in the favor of Waminagi. So it's nice to know that when do have that kind of game sense wherein they when push comes to shove and they really have to lay the cards on the line, they can take a risk like that and still come out on top.
And yeah, this is just Wamanagi able to make it happen. So quickly though, we are gonna get into our results and into our next map, as we are gonna be getting into Junkertown. But I just want to build on what Miko's been talking about on that support line, because it's a really big deal actually, just how the supports are able to play it clutch from time to time. Honestly, the support line having 2 different variables in them that Rebirth was able to note actually, as we are gonna be getting into the map. What does Rebirth have, Mika? What does he say about these two distinct duos, especially on their ideologies? We see one doing more damage, we see one doing more healing. Who's on what, and what we get as we are gonna get into our third map?
That's right. I mean, actually, and I think we saw a little bit of it in the previous two maps when the cards started coming out after the match. We saw that Wamanagi's support line is actually able to do more damage and assist their damage dealers in that sense. They have a little less healing, but the Wamanagi can win, still does a higher win percentage. They still have a higher win percentage, even though their support line is, contributing to that damage. So while the healing might be a little bit lacking for Wamanagi, they still can compensate and they still can pull through together.
Yeah, exactly. You guys do want a little bit of basis from those stats that we are bringing on up. We do have a stat sheet available. You just type in the command expression right, New Wave. You are going to get both the stat sheet as well as our rule set. So you understand what's going on here and now in our tournament setting. As soon as we get our A team up and running, we will be releasing standings as well, which is probably going to be a big deal into the near future. But hey, no spoilers here and now. This is going to be our only second match of this week. And then we will move on back to next week for, again, another session of the New Wave Invitational. So I hope you guys are enjoying your time, and I hope you guys are enjoying our format so far. We've been doing this for 3 weeks already, and I've been joined by Fascinate as well as Mika here on the casting table. So many helpful members in the staff. We got Jordan Rebirth on the stats, we got Yumi on that graphics, and bringing people together. We also have Billy and Redux marshalling on when they are available. So kudos to those guys, making this all a possibility. So Mika, it seems like Wamen gonna be taking a play out of your speech, and we'll be whipping out the Farah Mercy. Now there is one hard counter to this when you have very open skies, but there is still the McCree right now that can be as potent as can be. It will be difficult, of course, for the McCree to get those shots. It's not the insta-kill potential of prevent something like a Widowmaker. And when Zombich Punching decides to go for the dive, well, that is just gonna be a takedown there. Mercy Lucia pairing though for Wamen Nagi. Gonna be a low weak onto that sustain onto the ground, but Washed Up Homie still unable to really punish this until the Ice Wall comes.
That's right, and I feel like, Tamora and Archdale over here have this kind of like harass or confuse Cyanide strategy going on as they're both flying around and being pocketed by Vigilance. I'm not sure if Cyanide knows who exactly to focus on, because as he's focusing on one, another comes in for that harass. But here comes this Deadeye, and let's see if he does not get any picks at all. You would think that he'd save that for the Fa Mercy or the Mercy Echo coming in. Yeah, Tamora, when it comes down to Tamora versus Cyanide, it's looking like Tamora is on top of Kensuken.
And look at this, Wamen Nagi 2.0. I didn't really realize it till I actually looked at it a little closer, but they are going to be playing that double flight composition. Now it is the Echo as well as the Farah here and now, and Wamen Nagi going to be looking to dominate the skylines here on the outback. They are playing that dive to really provide some cover, and this is basically such a fast and furious playstyle that really fits into Wamen Nagi. Now it's really interesting still that they are playing that Mercy. I would like to see an Ana rather for this comp, especially a Nano Boost onto one of the tanks or with the Barrage. Gonna be a big deal because it does take a little while for Cuz to come on back. The movements on the Lucia, if you are really good, sure you can keep up with the rest of the team, but it takes a while to get those wall rides on. Rock Barrage gonna be into play, and Archdale now gonna be going on down, but quickly look at that dive from Zombich as well as Funtrick. And I just want to take the floor a little bit, just to explain how this composition really works for Wamen Nagi as they are destroying everyone. This is a dive that allows the Winston as well as the D.Va to protect that Echo, to protect that Farah. And even if Archdale doesn't get the second rocket to connect, it doesn't matter because Tamora can fly on in with the flight, just get the tri-shot on, get those cluster bombs, and it's a very potent composition. And you see Tamora, who's actually playing a little more of the less pocket. It's Archdale really getting that one because the Farah is a lot slower in this regard. And yeah, I like the comp here for Wamen Nagi. I would make some changes for myself, but they are making things work. They are utilizing that speed boost for some way. And low right now though, they get the Shatter Sound Barrier in response. Grabbing the Surge into play as well. This is Washed Up Homie trying to go for the retake. And here comes Tamora turning into the maze. Self-destruct gonna be there as well. Big boom on the sun. But still Washed Up Homies using everything they probably have. Blizzard though from Tamora actually gonna come on out in time before the duplication ends. And Ambi forced to go for the Ice Block. Absolutely clutch play there from the Echo. It's just not enough though. Cyanide gonna get the frags. And Washed Up Homies with the retake after basically a long explanation and a half over that point.
That's right. They got caught in by that grab, but I feel like Wamen Nagi over here still has an advantage. They're an incredibly mobile composition right now, and their two tanks are notorious for being able to kite these two tanks as well. I mean, you have the Diva and the Winston jumping around, flying around, and then you have the Pharah and the Echo flying around as well. It's a really, really annoying composition, I would say, to deal with.
Yeah, it's really gonna be such a pest. And Washed Up Homies, they need to be sure that they can group up, they can support one another. One pickoff by pickoff is pretty much the name of the game here for Wamen Nagi 2.0. And there you go, though. Cyanide takes care of Archdale. The McCree now finally getting the hot hand. And when the Cowboy is stationed, well, it is gonna be potency all about. Tomorrow, though, trying to go for the frag, but oh, Ambi playing Peel instead. Very smart play here from Washed Up Homies, going for the adjustment there. But Cuz gonna get on the board, gonna go for that Sound Wave, takes care of Cyanide. Right here, right now, it's Zombich looking to rampage. And it's Winston just hitting everyone along the way. Can Sun stay alive? Looks like the Junior gonna still fall to the hand of Funtrick instead. It's gonna be the dive working together yet again. Lone now all alone. And honestly, Lone right now looking like a sig duck because of the composition. The Reinhardt can't really do much when everyone else is just throwing everyone else around. And Wamen Nagi 2.0, have you ever seen a ramen bowl get tossed up into the air? This is pretty much what they're doing against Washed Up Homies.
That's right, and as I mentioned, since those two tanks of Diva and Winston can kite the Reinhardt extremely well, that Shatter almost had no effect whatsoever on the lineup of Wamen Nagi because they are extremely mobile. They know when a Shatter is coming in, and they know exactly how to get out of it.
Yeah,
so possibly, Washed Up Homies need a bit of a, they could probably switch out right now and save the game, but we'll see because it's not looking too good right now for them.
Well, the thing about Washed Up Homies right now, this is luckily a good spot for them. There is still going to be a ceiling, and it's a little predictable where the Pharah as well as the Echo are going to be coming from. So they can really just play close, they can play in cover as much as possible. And the only thing they will need to really deal with will be that Rocket Barrage or later on. But Cyanide now is priming that Deadeye. This is the McCree, getting frags here, there, and everywhere. And just the McCree finding these angles, especially now on the third point, going to be a lot more potent, especially when the two flyers get on close. Very interesting though, Washed Up Homies never went for the Widowmaker. They have stayed on that Mei, they stayed on McCree, and it's been working out for them for the time being.
Oh, but Ambi right now is switching over to Soldier.
I like this, I like this too.
Finally switching off of the Mei.
Yeah, double hit scan, no matter what hit scan it is, it will work. And Soldier 76 has been buffed to a point where at least it's potent. Oh, tomorrow, gonna be Lucio. Interesting. So now they're gonna go for a double speed boost perhaps. Sound barrier, no, not really gonna go for it. And it's, okay, very interesting duplicate. Might be a misclick there, but at least it saves vigilance. It does something. Now, I really expected them to go for an engaging sound barrier, and it seems like Tomorrow was trying to do it, but even with a duplication buff on that ult charge, you still need to do the damage as Lucio, and the quad shot isn't the easiest thing to do. So Wamen Nagi 2.0 does lose their Pharah. They swap on to a Tracer instead, and they want to go for the coup de grace right here, right now, as Payload reaching to the tail end. But the Graviton Surge, as well as the Shatter, are going to be looking online. Self-destruct in behind Sound Barrier right now to keep everyone up, but Lone going to get the shield up in time. It seems like he gets a little pep in his step just in the right moment. But Tomorrow flying on around yet again, this time going to get blocked by Cyanide. Big nade there, courtesy of Blue before the Ana falls. But in this instance, the Cyanide still keeping on with the shots. Zombich though, rampaging yet again. Primal Rage is available. Blue, she's gonna be respawning there, and then Abby onto the Bastion, and we've seen a little success on the defense. Last time on King's Throw, will it be the same? Shots right now keeping on coming into the middle line, and this might be Wamen Nagi forced to retreat, and it might also be them unable to finish up the map one more time. Wow, Washed Up Homies and the last point defense looking pretty solid all throughout the series.
This seems to be their Achilles heel right now. When they back Lone up and into a corner, he really goes ham all of them, and it's looking like it's going to happen once again. We saw this happen on King's Row, and it might happen for a second time tonight.
Yeah, it's really just a Berserker Rage there from Lone, and right now the Berserker gonna have his ultimate ready. He channels in the Might of Thor and gets a slam on. Shatter connecting onto the tank line, puts Funtrick to the wall. No way to get the reset onto the mech, but Zamora gets the assassination onto Ambi. Easy target with a focusing beam as soon as the half HP marker comes. Here comes the beam yet again, but no real targets here, and now trying to go for Mouth Supreme, it doesn't happen. Shots now keeping on coming. Duplication gonna be on the list, and who's gonna be the target of opportunity? Who's gonna be the one that gets turned into something else? So so close for Timor to get pinned, but Cuz with the save. And here comes the focusing beam one more time. Cyanide turning into the Reaper. Graviton Surge there from Som, not gonna pan out. Timor saying, okay, I'm just gonna say who I am. This is real, this is me, this is exactly who the Echo is gonna be. But turns into the Lucio one more time. This time looking for some redemption with a sound barrier perhaps, and a low speed along the way, but the contest is still there. Wamen Nagi 2.0, they need to figure out who's on that payload. They take care of the Moira. Plu's gonna die. Ambi next trying to come on over as the one falls, but it's just not gonna be enough. And Wamen Nagi this time finishes up the map. Washed up homies with an incredible effort though, trying to make things happen. In the end, it's still not gonna happen. And Vigilance laughing about something, probably all those Lucio duplicates that Timora tried to make work.
I guess they were as surprised at that income as Wash Up Homies were. And interesting to see, like, at that last clash, as Lone was going ham, I noticed that he actually, because of that aggression,
It's really just all about the
that we saw. Exactly, we saw Zombich coming in, and now really just, you know, electric finishing off the poor Anna over there in the corner. So, you know, Lone over here was like really defending payload and just swinging out, but he totally forgot, I think, the rest of his team.
I'll bail you out.
Yeah, it's just highly unfortunate. And in the end, it is Wamen Nagi finishing that one up. But the Bastion pick there for Ambi, I don't think it's the best pick against the Echo. You can really see how quickly Ambi gets melted. It's such a stationary target. Focusing beam, focus your beam onto something. It's in the name. And tomorrow just plays the game. It's like, okay, I can put the Bastion in half, that's easy, and then I just press E, and you're dead. You're just absolutely obliterated. And it earlier worked on King's Row earlier on because they didn't have any way to deal with it. This time, Timora is just able to fly around with the Echo and do the potency that needs to be done. But right here, right now, we are going to see Wamen Nagi actually have double the kill sites of Washed Up Homies. They have less damage though, but it really goes to show that Wamen Nagi is securing these takedowns a lot better than basically the chip damage that Washed Up Homies is doing in the first place. Because that healing on Wamen Nagi this time is really off the charts. Cuz Dogan playing that Prig, Vigilance playing the Ana, Timora still flying around though with the Echo, and I like this better. No real pocket, no knees necessary for the mod flying on around.
That's right, you did mention that it might not be necessary for Echo to be pocketed by a Mercy. I mean, just because you see something flying around doesn't necessarily mean healer needs to fly around as well, especially not with a character as mobile as Echo.
Yeah, it really just goes to show, it's that speed thing. With the Pharah Mercy, you need to really mitigate the slow nature of the Pharah, like literally hovering in the air as Wamen Nagi does get those kills. Because it's just normal speed right there. But here for Echo, it's like, there's a little bit of a woof, you really take off like a jet plane. Ambi now gonna get staggered as well thereby, because Wamen Nagi 2.0 working on that. But I have seen a lot of success as well with the Pocket Mercy Echo, but it really needs to have a ground-based support in behind. Now the Brig Ana is something you can play with the Naked Pharah in the first place, so it's the same ideology. You can go for the armor packs, you can go for the heals. If you know your Ana is a sharpshooter, you just trust that you're gonna get the connections. And with Timora being so mobile in the first place, she can always keep tabs of where Vigilance is. But in behind right now, they need to keep tabs of Ambi. He's trying to tear Cuz apart, but the shield bash won't mitigate that one. Blizzard right now in the field, and apparently even in the hot desert sands of the outback, the Blizzard can sustain itself. And Wamen Nagi 2.0 defending onto the Shanties. Ambi gonna be happy at that one. He takes care of Timora, but the fight isn't over yet because Sun gonna get that push on. Advantage here for Washed Up Homies.
Oh, we have the tap visor coming in, and we'll see if Cyanide can get any picks right now. Oh, this could be the opening that the Wash Up Homies are for to finally secure this first point. I wanted to ask you, Dax, how are you feeling about the nice pick over there? How are you feeling about the Soldier 76 and the Reaper combination?
Well, Soldier 76, as we said before, is having a little bit of a resurgence into the meta and also the ladder as well. They have really buffed up a few things about the Soldier besides the damage per shot a long while back. And now, the thing is that Helix rockets are more on the uptime. So, all you need to do is go for a burst and you can really secure a kill pretty quickly. Look at that, Timora already put on low, and you do have a lot of potential to get your ability back in a very quick time. But unfortunately for the Soldier 76, well, that happens. That is going to be the Reinhardt getting out in the open and getting that takedown. And another big deal, Mika, for the Soldier 76 is the overall nerfs to barriers into the game. Way back when, something like double shield, something like having the old barrier HP values, it took way too long for the Soldier 76 to get any shield break, and then as soon as the shield breaks, it's just not enough sustained damage from the Soldier 76 in the first place to keep it up. So that's what really put him in the gutter there. So it's a twofold thing, buffs and nerfs all on the side. The only one with higher shields right now is the Winston, but it doesn't really matter. It depends on how it gets used. But Tim right now going to be turning into a support again. It seems like these guys want to play goats because they have the Brig, they have the Ana, they have the Moira, they still don't have the Luciano, but whatever it is, what it is. Ambi going to be trying to survive Arcana right now with Death Blossom. Ambi now coming in behind, and he's going to go for his own Death Blossom. Both sides with Recital. Funtrick though, saying that he's going to be judging each and every one of them, and he likes the one on Wamen Nagi sides, but not on Washed Up Homies, because Funtrick is tearing everyone apart. 100 energy to his name. That is to be a very, very strong composition down below here on the U-bend of Junkertown.
My ultimate is ready.
Now it's looking like everybody kind of like used up their resources in that last clash, because we only have the grab coming in and the tag fighter from Cyanide, grab from Funtrick and the tag fighter from Cyanide. And we'll see if people can get back their resources up to see, because I feel like they'll need all hands on deck to be able to get through this tricky choke that that Wash Up Homies are experiencing right now.
Arctanil gonna be out in front again. This is the Reaper looking to tear apart that tank line and get that Death Blossom as quick as can be. But now the tank line is available here for Cyanide, looking to get thrown through to the other side. They see the rotation though from Arc. That Reaper having to get on away. Tim still though able to fly on around Cyanide, not gonna be able to get one. Zombie though hitting that charge, and Tim blowing herself up with those sticky bombs. But hey, Wamen Nagi trying to rampage. It is gonna be a big roll up on top. Zombich looking to be unfallible and really wanting to hold the line there, but now gonna drop on down. It's Ambi back on his main. Puts the ice wall up in front, and this is just gonna be Zombich trying to cleave on through, grab the search yet again. Funtrick making such a big difference on the low ground, but this time though not gonna be able to survive. Blue with that coalescence. Washed Up Homies finally piercing through the veil, and will be able to clear the first parts of the second point.
I feel like they finally cracked that choke over there that Wamen Nagi was creating for them. They couldn't deal with Archdaniel for the longest time as he was flanking around, harassing them as Reaper. But now they've finally broken through, and this could possibly be an easy second point for Washed Up Homies.
But hey, Funtrick is back on the Wrecking Ball, and look how speedy Timora flies on in immediately. Has the Bluification available, gonna turn into the Moira again, and I don't think this is the best thing here for Tim, honestly. I would love to see him better on the Soldier 76, or maybe even that May, or maybe even that Reinhardt. Honestly, being a Reinhardt, having those stuns are just such a big difference maker, and having shields along the way. But hey, the sustain is working out here for Wamen Nagi. It seems like Timora doesn't want to only have damage on her department, gonna get that casual bronze medal on healing, just a stat pad, getting those supports along the way. But look at this, look at what Timora has. After duplicating how many times the support, only has 506 healing. Interesting, interesting. Meaningless stat, Mika, honestly. Meaningless stat, I just want it.
Oh, why are you sad? Don't be sad.
Back to Visor though, coming online. Cyanide gonna be going for the shots here, and where's the shadow? Where'd the shadow go? It seems like Zombich trying to get the channel, but it does get blocked up instead by Lone. Advantage here enough for Washed Up Homies. Sun gonna get on the board. Here comes WH, trying to really bring a ticket on into the show. But hey, Sun right now out in front alongside Lone. Right clicks are about the Reinhardt gonna be taking points, and this is Washed Up Homies getting a capture. It feels like it was a little bit of a whipper there from Wamen Nagi on that last part defense, and they will pay the price for it. Third point right now activated. A chance here for Washed Up Homies to tie things up and force the second round.
That's right. I'm gonna have to go back and see how they lost that. They were looking really good, and I'm not sure how they lost the positioning. I'm not sure how they lost that last point. They seemed like they were like sitting pretty at that point.
It's just that Reinhardt being in a weird spot, and Zombie trying to go for the shatter, didn't pan out, but still, right here, right now, Ambi putting up a wall in front of himself, looking to really play off against Timora, but this is so difficult playing projectile against an Echo, and its speed. Arctanil right now dropping on down from the rotating belts, and as soon as the fight starts, the fight ends. Arctanil has the Death Blossom available, and it is gonna be a flower blooming in the desert. Wamen Nagi right now, one more defense should do it, and they should have the match win. Of course, guys, even if Wamen Nagi takes this one, we will go to a map number 4 to see if Washed Up Homies can bring it around and get a map back, or if they do take this, we might be able to be in a 2-2 scenario. So we'll see what's gonna happen, because right now Washed Up Homies does have that Blizzard, does have an opportunity to get this tactical visor as well as that sound barrier, and Mako Supreme as well as Ambi getting the pick off. They find the IS wall, they get things done. Duplication though available right here right now for Timora, And in the meantime, it's Cyanide letting that sacrifice of loose, jumping on around. Sees for just first and foremost, Timura next on the list, gliding on away into this one. But it's time for overtime to take on Dan. Will it be enough? A Sun gets on the board. Nazario right now looking around. Right clicks are bound. The front line here for Washed Up Homies taking points, as this is going to be the payload being pushed to the tail end.
Wash Up Homies right now looking really good, but we'll see if Wamen Nagi can make a comeback. They kind of lost their position right now as Wash Up Homies like really snowballed up to the high ground.
But here goes Timura turning into the Reinhardt finally, and it's gonna be a grab the surge into play. Shatter though from behind, Lone gonna get caught by that one. Thought that was Zombich, and Tim gonna go for the Shatter as well. Does so many stunts, crossing Shatters. There is nowhere safe. The floor is not lava. The floor is an absolute quake, and this is the big one here. And now Wamen Nagi will take that victory. Will be taking that match win, but we are still gonna go to a map number 4. But congratulations still right to Wamen Nagi securing the match points.
Wait, that was hilarious. I think we saw like 3 stuns coming in, and like I think there was only one hero that got stunned. I think I saw probably Mako Supreme down on the floor. So many stuns, but nobody falling down.
They made an X. They made an X, Mika. And right now, Wamen Nagi is the ultimate X factor. They are the ones in complete control. And they have just taken another match to their name. They took a little break on week number 2, but they have shown up here on week number 3. And Washed Up Homies really putting in the fights. There were so many instances of them really matching Wamen Nagi on the past 2 maps. But it seems like Wamen Nagi, when the going gets tough, they are even tougher. And that chemistry is just completely on point. We will still see a 2 CP map though from Washed Up Homies, because we are still in a 4 map affair. And what do you think? What can Washed Up Homies do right now, Mika, to try and get a map back? Because they might be feeling a little down after their match loss, but there still is potential. There is still hope to get one back, to get a little more stats on their favor, and get a little confidence if you can take that one away from Wamen Nagi.
That's right. And don't worry, Wash Up Homies. I know exactly how it feels to be on that end. It's cool. You're in good company. I feel like, for example, when Abby switched out of the Mei and went on to the Soldier 76, it feels like they were able to push a lot better. Possibly they're just lacking in damage right now. I know that Cyanide has the highest damage output between these 2 teams, but it doesn't seem like, as Rebirth stats point out, it doesn't seem like they're really following up with those kills or utilizing those eliminations. And right now, I'm noticing that the tank line also doesn't seem to be coordinating as well as Wamen Nagi's tank lineup. They're really Lone can get. I have a feeling he gets like a little tunnel vision, which is totally understandable. I mean, when you're a Reinhardt player, I mean, it's difficult not to feel like you're the most powerful player on the board with your big hammer and jacked up level 80 looking armor right there. But I noticed that several times during that last match, he just completely forgot his team and decided to just go straight into, I mean, like, no, you're not a damage dealer. I get it. It's the tunnel vision, I know, but they don't seem to be utilizing that kind of teamwork just yet. I don't know. What do you think, Dax?
Well, the big deal right now also is the difference between the composition of Kings Row and the composition of Junkertown. Wamen Nagi playing a dive, and Lone can't really do the same antics against dive because they will just happily jump away and be like, I'm gonna kill your guys now. And there you go. They just zap zap, pew pew pew, and fly fly fly. It really is all those small little words coming together into one amazing package called dive. And Wamen Nagi 2.0 executing really well with their double flyer strategy. I think Washed Up Homies should have gone for hit scan earlier on. They did have Cyanide, but they can't rely on him and him alone because that is a mercy up in the air. And we say that the Echo doesn't need it, but the Pharah does. And as well as if you do have C hit scan on the other side, and you don't want to swap that Echo, well, the mercy gonna be very, very helpful in those scenarios. But hey, we are gonna be going into map number 4. Wamen Nagi looking victorious, but the fight is not over yet. Here for Washed Up Omnis, they are beaten but not completely battered on down. They still have a chance, and they might be able to take a map away here on Volskaya Industries. Let's look at that map recap real quick though, and let's look at that next map coming our way. 3 maps already in favor of Wamen Nagi as we get into map number 4. I'll be very interested to see what Volskaya is going to be bringing to the table to the side of Washed Up Homies, because we have seen them be willing to play that Bastion, and Volskaya is one of those maps where if you can play the Bastion really well, you can really be pesky on many straights, as you know, as Mika knows.
That's right. That's right. I believe we were on the receiving end of this Bastion play on Volskaya, as you mentioned.
It was
So,
a
yeah,
show and a half.
It was, and we were. That was hilarious.
I
But,
feel like I got a ticket to a long show, but then it only ended after the first act. I was like, what? Are we done? Yeah.
you gotta take it to a B movie, yeah, definitely.
I got a great show yet. I got a great show. We've been having a good time overall in the New Wave Invitationals, and we are getting into a point where it really feels like a regular thing now. No, it feels like, guys, that it's not as new anymore, but it feels more something familiar, and I like that feeling. I like when we're feeling a little more cozy right now and what we do, and we're just trying to mix it up as well, bringing in a few factors here and there together. But hey, you know, every season has a start, a middle, and the end, and usually people do like the start and the end the most over the middle. But this is a really big matchup, guys. Has a lot of implications basically to any power rankings you have in the New Wave Invitationals. Wamen Nagi has shown that they are above and beyond all their competitors, and this core, this chemistry between these players right now on Wamen Nagi's side, well, they have really been on points. They've been playing League for so much already. They've been playing League for months. They have really stopped playing Overwatch, but then given an opportunity like this back, it brought back them into the field. It brought that a little bit of fire, just knowing that they can play with one another and play with the community. And they have shown that when that fire is lit, they are an absolute inferno, looking to rage on into the New Wave Invitational. So you know we talk about water all the time, Mika, but this is gonna be a big flame right here, right now from Wamen Nagi 2.0, the spiciest of all ramens here and now, and they will be playing that faraway composition yet again into the skylines.
That's right, and you know, you pointed out that they've been doing League a lot. I should point out that it actually might help going into another game and then going back into this game with a more competitive mindset, because you could take something from those other games and put it into this.
Yeah, look at that stun zombie! It's really awkward, gets stopped in mid-air as Lone is gonna be playing that DPS right now. So we do see some swaps right here right now for Washed Up Homies. You guys noticed at the start of the map, it's Ambi who went on the Reinhardt, and I think that Washed Up Homies is gonna take this opportunity to experiment on their roster, to experiment on their hero compositions, because they know Ambi is that tank player. They know Ambi is really good at playing the Reinhardt as well, like Lone. But now they will try to see what kind of run they can really do with Lone on that DPS, Cyanide on his side, and if they can actually handle what is to come here in the New Wave Invitationals with the roster they have in place.
That's right, and I think this is also what Washed Up Homies did during the last match, wherein after they finished that third map, they used the fourth map to kind of test out some things, to get a little bit experimental. And while people might think that, you know, it's not as competitive, I actually think it's very interesting, because it shows, you know, it gives people an opportunity to play something that might not be their usual. It gives a chance for new lineups to come up, new potential to come up as well.
But you know what potential is for Wamen Nagi? Absolutely astronomical, above and beyond. The stars absolutely shining here and now. At Wamen Nagi 2.0, this is the first take taken. This is what 2CP looks on ladder like sometimes. You just have that other team who destroys you on the attack. And yeah, the defense for Washed Up Homies never really stood a chance. They never found their footing. Wamen Nagi surprising with the composition yet again. And I think that Washed Up Homies just needs to anticipate it coming their way. Pharah Echo, when it gets scouted, it needs to get shut down immediately. A Widowmaker gonna be so helpful in so many departments. But Washed Up Homies, hey, they have the attack. We'll see if they can actually turn it around. That was a very fast map, Mika. This is 2CP and no kills.
They have 5 minutes. They have 5 minutes. Left.
No kills in the name of Washed Up Homies. That's just heartbreaking. Cyanide did a pretty good job at getting the damage done, but beyond that, it's just not gonna happen here for Washed Up Homies right now. They need to figure out a way to deal with the Echo Pharah that Wamen Nagi loves to play. And looking at their heroes, it's very interesting. It's not Timora on the Pharah, but it goes to show that this is a little bit of it's a little bit of things falling in favor of Wamen Nagi Mika. Do you remember Timora's signature heroes, right?
Yes, of course. We all know that she's definitely Farah main. So, I actually am. You're right. I am surprised that she was not on the Farah. She was concentrating more on Echo, and could be that they're trying to add Echo into their lineup, and she seems to be the best bet, being used to being up in the sky so
Yes.
much.
Yes, exactly. And if you guys don't remember, actually, since Arctaniel and Demar played always together, that Arctaniel is also a Pharah main all the way back when. Like, Arc he plays a Pharah, plays a main, plays a Tracer, but with the Pharah overlap with Tamora, and of course Tamora literally, the Tamora show up in the air, well, that is really puts Arctaniel back on the ground shooting. But now with the Pharah and the Echo into the game, Wamen Nagi 2.0 can actually play both heroes at the same time and really control the skies as much as possible. A little bit of history there in the PH scene, but hey, it is going to be history making here, and now Wamen Nagi can actually get the defense to hold against washed up homies. Looking for position, they are playing that dive yet again. Lone right now going to be on that Reaper, Ambi is on that Winston, and like this benefit for washed up homies, they will match the dive with the dive. Cyanide already having the barrage available, but Zom going to be able to get one. Is a very ambitious barrage, and Tamar's like, that's a free kill right there, thank you very much. Ambi gonna get a counter kill though onto Cuz, and washed up homies right now zapping down a few members here and there. Things can go either way. Vigilance though showing off with the Moira yet again, gonna go for Fade onto the mid back, and still the tank line surviving. Poor Sun though gonna get DMX, now getting bullied by Zombage. That's gonna be a real hit and a half. In the end, Wamen Nagi with the defense to hold Arctaniel, swaps over to the Tracer instead. It's Cyanide on the McCree. Could have been washed up homies play if they only got to use that barrage a little better.
That's right, and since they used that, they seem to be out of ultimates right now. In the meantime, Wamen Nagi has a duplicate coming in, and Tamara's probably going to go in and copy one of the attacks. And there we go, we have a double diva coming in. Triple diva, rather.
Triple diva, double diva, triple diva, all the trouble in the world, self-destruct behind, gets the D-Mech, and back to the mech Timora goes. Maybe another self-destruct, maybe another big one. Will it happen? I want to see how the duplication will handle it. Oh, it actually spawns! It's actually still there! It's Timora gonna make it happen! Oh my god! Duplication, what an ability. Just keeps the entity.
That was just so much fun. It kind of brings you back to the early days
Season
of
1.
Overwatch. When,
I feel
yes,
PTSD. I remember coin flip, Mika. I remember coin flip.
Yes, when you would have 6 divas soaring into the point on Hanamura or something.
Yes, exactly. Here on Volskaya, you fly over that middle box and then you are just dead. You are just dead. Season 1.
Right. Like it's a Mighty Ducks V formation over there.
But hey, you know what else is gonna be a formation? Here comes Washed Up Homies looking to push on in. Arcane right now does get the tag onto one, flipping on around as well. And Sun trying to stay alive, but Cyanide charging things up. Arc way too ambitious, goes from the side, and Washed Up Homies using this McCree to the fullest degree. Cyanide, a hot hand, his own right. Self-destruct right here, right now in behind, blows up that barrier. Zombie trying to stay alive. Here comes the leap on in. Vigilance looking to sustain. Cyanide though getting on the board yet again, and it's Fontra getting clocked into this one. Cyanide now fragging on out. It seems like we have gotten a tip at the saloon. It is to be the Lone Ranger getting the clocks on, and will he stay as a sheriff for Volskaya Industries? Because someone's gonna need it here for Washed Up Homies as they will get this first point.
A little bit awkward, but they finally got onto the point. Timora, I see, they feel really having fun on that Echo. You know, really experimenting, wondering which way can you take the character. And I'm actually enjoying watching her right now because they're really pushing the limits into what Echo can do. You know, how far can you take this double diva? How far can you take this self-destruct? That was fun. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly, and right here, right now, Mako Supreme going for the top up. Here comes Arcane doing retreats. And behind, up on top, it's Kuz playing the Brigitte. They want to put on the punish double hit scan right here, right now. Timora gonna be a little bit of trouble, but still takes care of Cyanide, takes care of Mako Supreme, turns into Soldier 76, hovering up in the air, and gonna be able to mop the floor out of this fight. Now, wants to get that tactic visor, of course, just for style points. 8 seconds left on the Soldier duplication. Timora running around, and this is really easy for Tim, honestly. Can disengage at any time, can stay in the front line, because as soon as that is gone, you can just turn around and say goodbye, fly up in the air.
Well, I'm liking how Wamen Nagi right now is being really conservative with their ultimates. I noticed that Wash Up Homies, as they tend to panic, as they tend to push for that last second or push for that last few meters on the payload, they tend to just let it all go, as is wanted Overwatch. But right now, Wamen Nagi is getting a good rotation going on right now.
Yeah, here comes Timur right now, looking to come on through yet again. Sticky Mom's being tossed around, and here is going to be Zombie and Puncher ready with their ultimates on the tank line. Cyanide though, Deadeye is available, shots keeping on coming. Mount Spring in the meantime, Nanobus is available, and here comes the Winston right now into the front line yet again. Archdaniel though, Death Blossom on the board, tearing everyone apart. Sun right now, looking to be out in front and just destroys all the opposition there. Oh, the poor Diva. The poor Diva, just torn apart at the seams. And Wamen Nagi 2.0, just so dominant. A big advantage already at time back, and Watch the Homies is just taking on away with their resources.
That's right. There still is a bit of hope for Wash Up Homies. Definitely. I mean, they have that full house coming up. The 6 ultimates coming up. So that once they clash, if they're smart about it, they could use that to definitely push, make their way and cap the point.
But Deadeye now here for Cyanide, looking for an opportunity here and there. Sees one on the high ground, but Archdaniel right now looking to really impose as much as he can. So for Wamen Nagi, they're playing that Brigitte on the corridor just in case someone does actually go for the push on the flanks. And in the meantime, Brigitte of Kuz just looking to rampage yet again. So we saw Patty make her debut earlier on, and is very potent with some really speedy compositions. But Kuz, I feel a lot more flexible here and now with the hero pool that he can play. The Brigitte, as well as can play anything that Vigilance does, can also go beyond that Lucio. Really go with the show for Wamen Nagi, working out in their favor. But in the meantime though, for Washed Up Homies, I like the pairing of Sun on that off-tank, Flash having a debut earlier on. But he's gonna need a little more time to gel with the rest of the team, as Watch the Homie is gonna have pretty much one last chance at this with 4 ultimates in their bank.
That's right, and I saw a little earlier that Wamen Nagi was able to. I mean, they Wash Up Homies are already having trouble gelling to begin with, and it's just way too easy for Wamen Nagi to separate them, to distract them, and suddenly all the team comes falling apart.
Yeah, here comes the Diva on the right-hand side. Shadow Step right here, right now. It's gonna be the Winston to go for the leap on in, and the charge right now. It's all away for Ambi. He's going for that push. Londo with the attacking advisor, trying to get the track on. Timura as well as Funtrick look down on him and get those takedowns. Self-destruct to make an opening, but in behind, it's the surprise of the century. Wamen Nagi with the bomb. Funtrick gonna get 3, and it seems like Timura wants to get into the action as well. Turns into the Diva, wants to blow up Ambi just for good measure, but everyone is already dead. The Sun right now is trying to survive, but Wamen Nagi 2.0 with the wipe, with the sweep, with the slate being cleaned, they will take down Washed Up Homies in a 4-0. Not the result we expected, but Wamen Nagi has shown that they are really here to stay and slay.
I don't think there was ever any doubt as Wamen Nagi was able to just literally take the with so much ease as they were on attack, and we saw the Wash Up Homies stumble a little bit when it was their turn. So I think we knew which way this match was going, but you're right, definitely surprised, as I thought there would be more of a fight points wise from the Washed Up Homies, but good matches nonetheless.
Yes, indeed, and good matches, especially on the second and third points, second and third maps rather, really bring in the fight, really bring it down to the wire. That King's Row map was absolutely
I love
essential.
that King's Row map, yeah, definitely. Definitely the Zombitch versus lone alpha male battle.
Yeah.
Alpha Ryan.
And it's just like, wow, it could have gotten close. There were just a few mistakes on both sides, but in the end, it's Washed Up Homies that really lost out on it, especially in King's Row. Honestly, looking back at it, I feel like staying on the far off for way too long was their mistake there. If they swapped on earlier on, they could have actually snowballed with that, but it just didn't happen. But they're on Volskaya are really all about experimenting. I saw Lone on that DPS, something we don't normally see. And Washed Up Homies, they will talk this off as a loss, but it's something they can really learn on and what their identity is. Especially here in the New Wave Invitationals, they can really craft a style of play that will work out in this tournament for them, in this, not really tournament, it's a season right now. It's a season for them. And maybe, just maybe, the old school style play might work out better, especially with not really having a DPS alongside Cyanide in their roster. Ambi is trying, sure, and it will take him a little more work to get there. He needs to find that potency because he is turning into the tank and Lone is turning into the DPS. But when you actually do it, it doesn't pan out. So Watch the Homies needs to really figure out how that duality is gonna work in their favor. But let's just look at those results. Mika Volskaya Industries taken there by Wamen Nagi. That was just a clap and a half. Easy clap, one, two, three there. The offense just absolutely unstoppable, and it seems like Wamanagi does like to play the offense a lot better and snowball from there. But there you go, guys. Here we go with our results. Nepal, a dominant win for Wamanagi 2-0. Kings Row, the closest one, 3-2. Junkertown, a close endeavor as well, but Wamanagi surprising with the composition and able to make it work to get that full cap. Volskaya Industries, not really a indicament of the score. It was just all Wamanagi all day, pretty much a 2 CP affair, gone the normal way. So yeah, Mika, what do you think about our match? What do you got, and what do you think has been the best moments so far in this series?
Definitely best moment had to be Zombitch versus Lone on King's Row. I'd love that. A second close up I think would have been the three diva on Volskaya just because of how fun and chaotic it was. Because Echo is so new, I haven't seen a lot of double self destructs within a matter of seconds. So that was definitely a treat to watch as well. But King's Row was what a match that was. That was awesome. That was one of my favorites. And yeah, I mean, like it is the middle of our season right now, but I still do think washed up homies can wash themselves up and make a comeback throughout. I mean, for the New Wave Invitationals, it is, I love this initiative because it brings out so many new faces. It shows so much new potential in people. So if tag players want to go into DPS, now is the time for them to practice that, to get that in line. And if people want to switch around and roles as well, and including me. So yeah, I think that this is your breeding ground. This is your little forest that is blooming right now. So yeah,
Ooh,
definitely
ooh, look
some
at that
exciting
wordplay.
stuff.
Look at that
Yes,
wordplay there
yes.
from Mika, the courtside reporter here. But speaking of courtside, real quick, we'll be getting into our post game interview in just a bit. We'll be right back, guys, and we'll be bringing in I think Udaza, Mr. Kuz, from the side of Wamen Nagi 2.0. So we're gonna have a different face here and now. For Wamen Nagi, we'll give Funtrick a little bit of a break there, and we will be right back for our post-game interview. This has been the matchup between Wamen Nagi 2.0 and Watch the Homies in the New Wave Invitational. Stick around though, you want to hear the words that Wamen Nagi wants to say before we head on out. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are with Mr. Kuz himself, or some people know him as Udaza or Uda. He is an amazing, amazing player in own right, a Genji main through and blue, but here from the Wamen team, playing that support line instead. So, hey, Mr. Uda, how are you doing today? How was the match, and how do you feel after taking a victory like that?
It's all good. It's all good. Um, Actually, we're truly happy that um, like we win that um, we win that game. It's really hard, but we managed to keep ourselves cool and siyempre, um, shot call lang about dun sa main targets na um, i-target namin.
Yeah, and it's just so good. It was a pretty hype matchup. Everyone was talking about it and how who would be able to take it, and it really got close. Score does lie a little bit, especially on that second and third map. So how does it feel, Uda? Like you didn't get to play the whole thing, right? You were subbed on in, and what usually entails the sub for your team? Is it a hero pool thing? Because I know Patty is basically a one trick Lucian and a half who is very very strong at what she does, but you have shown to have a lot of different heroes on your pool. Is it a matter of like that, or is it something else?
It's something else. Kasi we were balancing the support lineups. So kasi medyo late na rin. Kanina kasi ng first and second round, wala pa ako dun mismo sa game. So pinalaro muna namin si Patty and VG as well. Um, Kasi kumakain pa ako kanina ng first and second round. Kaya
Nice. Gamer
I
fuel.
I insisted na sa third round na lang ako maglalaro and fourth pa.
Yeah, and there you go. You did such a good job as well, bringing in a few things that Patty didn't have. She had such a very, very responsive Lucio, which was really, really key for a few picks here and there. But you whipped out the Brig, which pretty much just stopped anything. You were like, no fun allowed here. I'm just gonna kill you guys. And there were times where Ambi was trying to flank you with the Reaper, and you turn around, just stun him in the face, and he's like, "Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go now." I do have a question for you. Actually, I realize what made you transition from support to support from DPS? Because as I know you, like I said, Mr. Daza likes to play the Genji, likes to play the Blade. What's up, playing support right now?
Actually kasi yung una kasi um Yumi come to me like she talked she talked to me in the first day na meron yung invitationals, and then she said that Wamen Nagi 2.0 is kulang sa support, and since I flex naman, I just volunteered na sumali na lang sa Wamen Nagi. Pero ano kasi yung DPS din naman kasi tiwala naman ako sa nila na magagampanan nila yung ano nila, yung roles nila bilang DPS.
Yeah, and having Arc and Tamora very, very reliable in the scene. So Wamanagi 2.0 taking that 4-0. How about you, Mika? You got anything for Mr. Kuz right here?
I do actually have a question for you guys. So, para sa'yo, para sa Waminagi, who do you think is the so-called biggest threat sa Washed Up Homies? Like, during those matches, sino yung parang like, saan ba kayo nakatutok throughout most of the matches? Because you knew that that player was definitely the one to watch out for.
So, basically kasi, every game naman kasi, there's a Ryan and Zarya when it comes to pushing up on slowly. So, I just shot called na um, like Zom, like Edgar. Um, he's the main shot caller because he's the main tank. So, I assigned Zombich as the main shot caller of the team. Try to focus the Rhine first because the shield the shield is a bit annoying, and then we go to the next target like Zarya, and then we focus on the supports, and then so on and so forth. So the biggest threat of the enemy team is always Rhine, and also I think sa nila sa lineup nila is yung May, kasi when you got walled up there's no way of surviving the full attack of the enemy.
That's right. Makakat off kayo.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just such a, and I think your roster right now, honestly, for Wamen I feel like that it is really strong all throughout. Besides the core of Funtrick, Tim, Archdaniel as well. It really just turns into with vigilance, of course. It just turns into such great additions between you and Zom, and then you bring in Patty as well as Cronus, I believe, into the table, and it'll be so interesting to see how you guys grow as a team, from what other heroes you can learn to play in, what other things you can actually keep things up with. And who knows, maybe we'll see you on DPS back into the fold if that can happen. Maybe we'll see, of course, the vigilance snipers, some of that more support, some of that arc, tanking and the like, or maybe we'll see Patty on not Lucio, guys. I'm not throwing a rib at her, Patty. I know that she's actually a really great Lucio. She's been grinding with so many people actually out of the scene. And I know what you're up to. I know what you're up to. You're doing great. You're doing great on the hero, and it really goes to show the experience there for the support line. But yeah, Mr. Kuz bringing that Brigitte, it's just like one is red light and one green light, and here we have Mr. Kuz, who is the red light. It's like literally, it's traffic. No, you're not going anywhere, and he is just able to get that potency to begin with. And yeah, just Wamen Nagi 2.0 doing such a great job overall. So do you want to do any shout outs to Mr. Kuz before we head on out?
So far, wala naman. But I just want to say that woman, just stay strong, woman Nagi, and we will um, be the winner. Just target shot call, and then just follow the guides of the main tank.
There you go. There you go. Wise words from Mr. Kuz. Absolutely Magnimos, and absolutely inspiring. Thank you, Kuz. Thank you, Luda, for coming on
Thank you.
into our interview. You can scoot along now back to the loving arms for the people who kind of just threw you here. It'd be like, your turn, your turn, your turn. And yeah,
Welcome
guys.
here.
Thank you, Kuz.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, guys, that was our series between Waminagi and Washed Up Homies. And in the end, it is Waminagi looking like a plate to savor, and they will take that 4-0 victory. Before we go, Mika, just overall in that match, like, besides, your favorite moments, what do you really feel like were some defining factors for some of them? Like, before I go for a quick little recap of my own, what can you really
Well,
remember?
definitely Wamanagi is still remains to be the team to beat. I think they showed that really well in their first match, and they are still up there. And not just that, while they are up there, they continue to raise their own standards, which is really great. And one of the beauties of playing out a full season, like a mini league of sorts like this, you can really see the development of the teams. And I think they were already great in their first match, and you can still see them developing, which I think really constitutes and is a really important factor in a true team. So I think they have a really I don't know about you, Dax, but I think they have a really great future in terms of being players and in terms of being like this nice team over here. Maybe in this league, maybe in another, because they're showing that there's constant development. So that's great. I mean, it's team maturity, so
Wow.
it's inspiring. I mean, like one thing that's interesting, you mentioned about people being interested in the start and the end, but the middle is like where us staff actually get to see how the teams develop, and I think that's also equally interesting. I mean, you get to see how some people have improved or maybe have not improved, and that's worth noting too. I mean, that's why you have a season. That's why you have all people gathered in a season.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice to see people bringing it. And washed up homies, of course, you can see that they still need regain their footing somewhat. I mean, there were a lot of moments in tonight's match that were a little bit awkward. But you definitely saw like a little bit of a spark in there in the moments that really did count. So there is something there. I think they just have to wash up a bit more. Wash all that dirt
I knew
down
you were
and
gonna
get
do
the
that.
squeaky clean.
I knew you were gonna do that eventually. I was just waiting for it. I was just waiting for it. Okay.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but
You knowing you?
definitely yes, because like I have to find the wordplay in there somehow. So, but
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, there is something there, and the homies just need to home in on it.
Okay. Nice last sentence, by the way.
When you're trying to outdo myself, is that?
Oh. Mika Fabula, everyone. Remember, guys, if you guys need a princess for your events, a host, a producer, a courtside reporter, a TED talker, a team captain, professional player, and a caster, you know who to call. Check her out at twitter.com/MikaFabs. I changed it just for you, Mika. I
I'm,
changed it
I'm gonna
literally just for you.
I have to resign myself to the fact that you're gonna be doing this every
Oh, every
single
single
time we
time.
cast.
Every single time you have an
Every single
accolade. It is
time.
like a run
Why?
on sentence that never ends. That is the career and life and times of Mika Fabulous Fabula. But,
And
what? Go,
you
go,
know,
go,
you
fine.
know what? I do have to give a well to Dax for giving me this
Uh-huh,
opportunity,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
because like this is my first like few weeks practicing this new skill, because everybody says that you have to learn new skill during ECQ. So this is my new skill. And you know what? I wouldn't have been able to start this without Dax. He's a really good guy. How where would I be without him bored on Netflix
On
tonight?
Netflix. Hey, at least we have something. It's a good way for me to start my night. Night is
Yes.
nighttime again. I gotta
Start
fix
your
myself.
day.
Night.
I
Start
think
my
this is the
night.
start of the day for a lot
Yes, this is the
of
start of
people.
the day for a lot. But beyond that, okay, let's go back a little bit to just recap those results. I'm just looking at the map score right now. I've been staring at it for quite a while. And it really has proven that Wamanagi is no laughing matter. They are a very, very strong team, and they are really at the top of the top. I feel like, honestly, Washed Up Homies had too much going on in the previous matchup. They worked out against Meme Cord, which honestly surprised everyone, including themselves, seeing those names on the other side. But at the same time, there was always that asterisk. They lost the map at the tail end when Meme Cord figured things out and finally played a little bit more as a team instead of getting carried on one's shoulders. And knowing that, they went in here for Wamanagi. They did prepare, but we have seen how Wamanagi can just really impose and dispose of the opposition, and they were just so potent along the way. So I feel like here for Washed Up Homies, at least they know now where they really are at, what their weaknesses are, and this is going to be a good learning experience for them. Wamanagi has to know that they are really at the top of the food chain and they can take it a little easy, but at the same time, make sure that they are ready to go and prep against all the other teams. But looking at those maps right here, right now, Nepal, Wamanagi was just like, okay, we will win, and they will win. They won. They played it so well every single map. They played exactly all the elements of the maps that they played. Shrine, just peeking and pestering the Farah. Village, going down to the ground and just beating on up in the first place, going up high, trying to get the separations. King's Row was where it really could have gone either way, and King's Row was such a clutch play there from Wamanagi at the last part. They went for the attack first, but they were beaten back as soon as Washed Up Homies figured out how they actually can play into this one. And Kings Row, a very, very strong map, of course, for the tank line there. Playing the Reinhardt is so potent in those tight CQC quarters. But Wamanagi on that defense, clutch play after clutch play, they were able to really just find a way to deal with the far on the inside. Cyanide's taking a little too long to spot there. And from there on, economy is in favor of Wamanagi. Momentum is in favor of Wamanagi. Big plays from Funtrick, big plays from Vigilance, big plays from Zom, and it was just the show. Junkertown, it was when Wamanagi whipped the composition out. It seems like that's something they've always wanted to do. Fly up in the air with both of their DPS, and they did so with impunity. I have my own reservations about the support line, but they made it work, and I will want to see how they really fare into the future with that comp. Volskaya Industries was more of experimentation time there from the side of Washed Up Homies, and Wamen Nagi 2.0, not surprisingly, taking that easy victory as the roles were a little bit different in their roster. That goes to show, for Washed Up Homies, they need to work on their damage output as a whole. They have lots of sustain and they have a lot of damage going, but they are just unable to really secure those kills, and that is the big part. It doesn't matter if Cyanide is getting those huge numbers if the kills are still zero, right? It means absolutely nothing in the scheme of things, and that was just a really good show. So There you go, guys. Wamen Nagi versus Watch the Homies. Victory goes over to the Ramen Squad, and we are gonna be done for our night. It's been fun and absolutely great. Mika Fabula here doing an impressive job on duty. One day plays, the other day cast. Sometimes does both, and has been really, really impressive. Not gonna lie, guys.
Oh,
Not
but
gonna lie.
really not as
You
impressive
no
as
no
Daks, because
don't
he has
no you give me
really
this.
been. I'm sure everybody who's watching knows this. He's really been the one man
No,
show. He's
legit
really
though.
been tanking
Guys,
everything,
guys,
you
guys,
know,
legit
since
though,
the
legit though,
beginning.
legit though. Not this is
Legit,
not. No,
legit,
no, no.
legit.
I know. But this isn't this is the thing I do to you. This is legit though, because you have come in for your first time and you have really shown that you are just so good on the mic. Always good on the mic, and you have done such a good
You
job.
make me
Oh,
cry.
don't cry. Huwag ka yakin on stream. Yakin on stream. Oh, but yeah, goes to show. So such a flexible. So if anyone at the Nationals or TV Far or whatever watching, and you need a person to fill in to cast, you know who to call. Just give Mika the mic and put her on courtside and make her walk back to the casting desk. Like literally, cameras following her, and then she sits down. Thanks, Mika. Back to you, Mika. Then there you go. That is a segment and a half that needs to be done. Because
Well,
she
that
knows that.
definitely happens here. That
Yes.
definitely does
That
happen
is
here.
absolutely even while you're playing, it definitely happens here
Yes.
because we are New Wave Invitationals and we just do this for the community. We don't have any big numbers in behind, but hey, we just have a good time in the PH scene. And that is gonna be our show for tonight. We'll see you guys next week on Tuesday for another one, and we are very excited to be bringing you our 8th team announcement really, really soon. So as soon as that happens, we will have a few more things added to our stream, and standing is gonna be a big one of them. And we'll look to add a few more elements as well. But it's been fun. It's been great. I've been Dax. You can check me out at facebook.com/DaxCast. She's been Mika. It's twitter.com/MikaFabs, or you can check out her dead page at fb.com/Nilavariel, or you can just check out the Nationals or GG Network or wherever she actually works. Wherever she works, I don't even know anymore. She works everywhere, basically.
That's true. Or it is
That's
also at Mika Fabs, basically
yeah,
everywhere.
I think that Twitter there, Instagram, yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning on in. We'll see you guys in the next one. This has been the New Wave Invitationals.